All right, welcome to COTA 2025. We are at the Triumph booth doing some test rides, and I am going to be on the new 2025 Speed Twin 1200 RS. Let's get it. All right, let's get a throttle here in the tunnel, like everybody else apparently. All right, so let's go over some quick specs on this thing. So this is the 2025 Speed Twin 1200 RS. It has a 270-degree parallel twin. Comes in at about 135 horsepower and I believe about 83 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs around 470 pounds. I'll put all the specific specs up on the screen so that you can see them. I've been really interested in the Bonneville line for a long time. I just love the way that they look, and these parallel twin motors are really nice. So this one's a little more sporty than, say, the T100, T120. Jing is on the Speedmaster. All right, so I will say that the throttle is a little twitchy. I've noticed that on the T120 models as well. The on-off is very sensitive, but can definitely be learned with a little bit of practice and control. And I believe this one does have the quick shifter on it, so I've been trying to play around with that a little bit. So the riding position of this motorcycle is very similar to a naked bike. It's not at quite a seated position like a standard bike would be. My feet are underneath my hips, and I'm slightly forward. If I were to sit straight up, I could still reach the handlebars, so it's just a slight forward lean going into it. Like I said, this is a little more sport oriented than the T120s, so the riding position is going to be slightly more aggressive, but we're not talking a ton here. I have a 29-inch inseam, and I can get both platforms easily on the ground. Can't flat foot it, but can get both platforms down, which fits pretty well into most of Triumph's line. So I think it's probably sitting around a 31.5-inch seat height. It loves to sit around 3,000 RPM. It still gives you plenty to go. I start to feel a little bit of seat vibration when you get above 4,000 RPM, but it's not terrible. Throttle response is pretty even. Got some good torque, pretty much anywhere in the power band. This motorcycle is a little heavier than what I'm used to, but you can't tell it in the corners. It's very nimble. I'd say it reacts very similarly to my Trident. Very smooth through the corners. Get a little bit of bounce, but it's got Öhlins adjustable shocks on it. Braking is more than adequate with those Brembo calipers. You just gotta love how this thing sounds. Transmission clicks into place very nicely. Now, the one gripe that I have so far about this bike is the dash. That's the same dash that they're using on all of their, Tridents and the new Tiger 660s, and a lot of bikes have that dash on it now. I would prefer. Ooh, see, that kind of jumped on me a little bit. Let's see what we got here. It's definitely peppy. The 1200cc in this parallel twin model is not punchy, but it's definitely got some torque. It'll get up and go. I wasn't about to get thrown out of the seat, but smiles per mile is going to be pretty good on this one for sure. It does have a 6-speed gearbox. Let's see, about 65 miles an hour. I'm cruising just over 3,000 RPM. So definitely highway capable. I mean, it's 1200cc motor. You're going to be able to do highway on this thing absolutely fine. Let's do a little roll on in 6th gear here from 60. Yeah, so even in 6th gear, you've got some power behind it. I will say this seat is very comfortable as well. It's more of a bench seat like you would see on a standard bike versus a formed seat like you would get on a naked. Very comfortable, easy to move around on. I can scoot back real easy. Lots of different riding positions you could choose to ride with. So let's go back to talking about this dash for a second. Like I was mentioning before, they're using the same dash as they are on a lot of their newer bikes. Something like this, the retro kind of styling, I would much rather have the dual analog dials, or even if it's digital, still the look of the the look of the dual dials. On a bike like this, this dash just comes across as cheap to me. I think it works very well on things like the Trident and even the Tiger 660 line, but you start getting in that upper level. I mean, Triumph is a premium brand, so when you see this cheap dash on all of their new models, I'm not a fan. Call me a Triumph fanboy. I totally am, but I don't like these dials on all of these bikes. I think it's a certain aesthetic that fits certain models, and these modern retro classic kind of bikes like the Bonnie line and this Speed Twin, I just don't think it fits. But that's just me. The brake works very well. Oh, very stable at slow speeds. I like that. Here we go again. Yep, that's fun. I could definitely see this motorcycle as being a sort of sport touring, standard retro. I think it checks a lot of boxes. It's very comfortable to ride. You could eat up a lot of miles on this thing, and it would still be fun through the twisties. It leans in so easy. I did not look and see what tires come stock on this thing, but Triumph is really liking to use the Michelin Road 5s, so I hope it would be something similar to that. Yeah, I'm a fan of this bike. If only it had a different dash. It's my only gripe. Jing's on the Speedmaster. I wonder how much of a good time he's having right now. And this parallel twin sounds great. I think this is the stop sign that Jing dropped his bike on last year. Neutral. now that we're sitting here, I'm getting some heat off of it, for sure. Yeah, I get a little bit of heat off of it, but, you know, that's not too bad. Alright, so all in all, would I buy this bike? Yes. I'd be interested to kind of do the spec comparisons on this versus the T120, because I've been really looking forward to owning a T120 at some point. But I want to do a comparison of these two, just so I can see exactly what the differences are. But I think this is a very capable, extremely capable motorcycle, very comfortable to ride, smooth power delivery. I think it's fantastic. So if you're into the retro sort of bikes, definitely check this one out. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. Keep it shiny side up. Peace. Ooh, cushy.
That's nice.